Now, I want to hang on that for a second because you, again, you talked about how that instilled some sort of drive for you, right? You were the only kid doing that. Did you ever have a moment where you realized someone was bringing some extra sauce to the table and they must have been cleaning baseboards too or doing something similar? And you're like, oh, I've got some competition here. Like, when was that first moment for you?
So competition on the football field, there's always those players that I think I look at that way. But I kind of look at them as rogue players. Mm-hmm. Not so much the guy that's just good competitively. He might be a challenge. I usually had guys that just you didn't want to be near them because they would just hurt you. We had a guy that played for the Kansas City Chiefs, Gary Steels. Okay. Loved the guy, defensive guy, put his hand in the dirt, came off the edge. But if you just in practice just run by him, he's probably going to just hurt you some kind of way. It's not that he's reckless. It's not like
even
he's
emotionally.
It's not
just emotionally.
Probably emotionally, but
going to call you a name.
It's just one of those guys. And I tried to stay clear of those kind of players that were they're very gifted, very talented, very aggressive. Their IQ in terms of just their ability to be an athlete is very high. Now maybe in their thinking part of it, you know what I mean? They're thinking second, but they're just being an athlete first. And so I've been around a lot of guys like that, but they would just hurt you in practice, man, because they're just coming at a different tempo.
Right.
They're very aggressive. And so you're going up there to block them, which you think is just like, hey, we're in practice and just like we're like 50%, we're max maybe 60% of our speed. These guys got this tempo where they're playing at like hovering about 80%. They've got like this country type strength that even when they go to grab you, you're like, hold on, man, like you're grabbing me too hard. You know what I mean? So I just tried to stay clear of those guys, but I can't really think of any particular guy that was a nemesis, so to speak. I can tell you about a guy that at the end of the day, he played for the Pittsburgh Steelers, middle linebacker. I think he came into camp over 300 pounds.
Okay.
And he was a linebacker.
For a linebacker?
Yes.
Wow.
And in order to be 300 pounds and be 5 yards off the ball and get a running start to fill the hole, I think is a little unfair. So I don't know if it was like an actual rule in the NFL, but I believe that if you weigh 300 pounds, you at least got to put your hand in the dirt, start as a defensive lineman, and then take off, right? So for this particular person, I think he came out of camp at 298 just so that he could be back 5 yards off the ball at middle linebacker. Okay. Kirkland, middle linebacker, Pittsburgh Steelers, 99. I hope I'm getting the name right. We got to get the first name. We got to fact check that. Javon? Leavon Kirkland, a 99.
A special gleam just went off in his eye, by the way, Jacob. When you said the name, he's like, oh.
Okay, so playing for the Ravens, you got to face the Steelers 2 times a year.
Right, twice.
At home and at their house. So I knew we were going to have to face him by the time it came 1998 and I started, starting for the Ravens. And he was one particular guy that you have to say, like, do you got your head on a swivel? Yeah, my head was on the swivel for Big 99.
Okay.
Because if he was like low compact, tree trunk legs, arms look like legs, and when you would hit him, you would have to muster everything in your body to hit him. And so there was one of the times, I think it was probably on that Super Bowl run that we had where we were placing the Steelers. It might have been that year. But I remember I ran like a check down, which is you look up, check the linebackers, nobody's coming, no pressure, go 5 yards through the A gap, turn around at 5 yards, put your hands up.
Face the ball.
Right, face the ball, quarterback throws it. I don't know what happened, but the ball kind of just drifted. And it just kept drifting. And I was thinking in my mind, like, I've actually got to jump up and catch this ball, and I don't want to. I want to keep my feet on the ground because I know Leavon is right behind me somewhere.
You're gonna get crushed.
So anyways, the ball kind of drifted. I jump up to catch the ball, and I'm like, get your feet on the ground as quickly as possible. I hit the ground, and as I turned, I could see like that Pittsburgh black helmet with the yellow stripe. I wasn't sure if it was the yellow stripe or the sun.
Yeah.
But his black helmet went in front of the sun, and there was like no sun. It was just all black 99. And I mean, Kirkland just gave it to me. And I think the ball went way over here to the
Ask,
left.
did you fumble?
My feet went up in the air or something like that. It was one of those plays where you get hit so hard where the whole entire stadium is like, and I like jump up really quick, like, no, that didn't hurt. That did not hurt. That did not hurt.
That's the move, right?
But
you got to do that move.
If you get hit that hard,
Yeah.
you need to be jumping up like in a
Popping
tenth of a
up,
second.
running straight
and then
off
just
the field.
Go back like to the huddle like nothing happened.
Oh, did you go back to the huddle after that
I
play?
went right back to the huddle. So to this day, he's another person that I'd love to get on camera for him to tell this story, because I'm sure he's going to tell it a lot different than the way I have.
Yeah.
But I've seen him at football camps with like youth, and the first thing he tells these kids is, Priest, tell these kids who hit you the hardest in the NFL. And I said, all right, Kirkland, yes, you got one of the better hits of me in your career.
He
But
wrecked
yeah,
you.
he lit me up. And like I said,
yeah.
I mean, this guy was hovering. He might have been at like 275 at this time, but it was, you could look at him and say, you got to be over 300 pounds, as big as you are, you know? But he was aggressive. He could run from left to right. The best way for me to attack Leavon Kirkland is to get him on the perimeter, get him in space, and force him to sit down. And if I can get him, that big old joker, to sit down, I got him. I can go left, right. I can do a spin move. I can do the Saquon Barkley and jump up backwards, touch my knees to my hands, you know, and do a leapfrog over him. But he's one of those guys that I definitely would have to say, if I had one guy, my nemesis on the field, that I knew, God, man, when he comes through here and he brings it, I really got to bring it. You know, I'm coming in at 208. I played my entire career. I didn't go over 212. 208, like, I want to hit the perimeter. I want to be fast. You know what I mean? I want to run around and do all that great stuff. 212 is like, in my mind, mentally, I'm now like a big back, like Jerome Bettis. Like, I want to go between the A gap and B gap, knowing I don't have any business in there, you know? And I always tell, you know, even some of the young people, like, you got to learn how to run in between the tackles and run behind your pad level, because that's where the game is won, right there in the inches. And so at some point you can dance and run around all you want, but eventually you got to go in there. And I'm glad that I spent my first 4 years in Baltimore. That offense was known as 3 yards in a cloud of dust. You had to go in there. And for me, I did it for 4 years against one of the best, arguably one of the best or top best defensives, led by Ray Lewis. And he anchored that defense. And I always say Ray had the secondary DBs that are like 185, 175. He had those guys mentally in a space where they thought that they were like linebackers, you know, and they played aggressive and they came up and hit. And so I can say that I enjoyed my time, and it really taught me a lot.
Okay.
You know?
All right. But before we close that chapter, what did you say to your quarter? Who was your quarter? Who threw this duck ball to you? Who floated this thing to you? Do you remember who threw that pass? And did you have anything to say when you went back to the huddle? You're like, don't ever.
I honestly can't remember who actually threw that ball.
Okay, we'll go back. We'll go back.
But I had that eye conversation and looked at him, and I'm like, don't ever do that again. Like, I'm not going to catch it, and that's going to be an interception. That's going to be on you. Like, I'm not jumping up and catching that ball. But at the end of the day, I'm that type of player where I know that if I got to take one for the team, you know, I'm going to take it.
You're going to do it?
I'm going to take it.
Well, hopefully our team here didn't do you dirty and didn't pull up like a still shot of you getting rocked.
They're in there. They're in there.
It might be on screen. It might be on screen right here.
It might be on there.
It might be on screen up here. I don't know. Maybe it's covering your entire body right now. We'll see what they decide to do. But all right. Well, that kind of takes us into what I wanted to get into, are some hot takes, and that was my first one. But we got into that. Like, who was your kryptonite? Breaking news from Bet365. New customers, Priest, $5. You just bet that and you can get $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. So sign up, place a bet for $5 and get $200 in bonus bets, win or lose.
Bonus bets can be used on the spread, player props, futures, and so much more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER in Arizona, Colorado, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maryland, North Carolina, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, and Virginia. Or 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. 21 plus only. 18 plus in Kentucky. Please gamble responsibly, and you must be present in Arizona, Colorado, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, and Kentucky, as well as Louisiana and select parishes. Maryland, North Carolina, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, and Virginia. $10 minimum deposit required. Terms and conditions apply. In-app only.
This has been a Playmaker production.